Okay, welcome back to Forged by Failure. Today we're just going to do a follow-along process as I tweak my list for my winter AOS league that I'm playing in. The league is 5 rounds long, and it's separated over a number of weeks. But between each week, you get to change your list. So what I've done is I've laid out every single unit I own for the army in TTS. I'm going to drag it over to what I think should be in the list. And then we're going to go take a look at what it costs and see if I got to make some adjustments. It's a new way for me to build a list. Normally, obviously, I just do it on the app. But I'd like to try and visualize this one and show you why I think some units are going the list. All right, with that, let's get started. Okay, so like the last video I did in terms of the battle report highlighted that it wasn't efficient to have our damage units in units of 5, which is kind of common sense, but still I wanted to try it. So we're going to make sure we have our damage units in units of 10 or reinforced if necessary. So to me, it kind of starts out with 10 blunderbuss, 6 centaur. I think that's going to form the core of the damage for the list. Next, I need to think about some screening units. I would like at least 2 units of Hobgrots, so we will drag 2 units of Hobgrots over. Just to give me, if there's a mission that has a wide board or a deployment zone in this half board, gives me options for screening our valuable units in the army. Okay, so now we have 2 bricks of damage, 2 screens, and we're going to need to have a little bit more, I think, objective play. So let's think about how we're going to hold primary. So I do like the Dominator engine with Bane Maces. It's pretty tough. I've been itching to keep trying that Servile Automaton with the Ashen Elder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 and put them in there in the list and make sure we give the Servile Automaton enhancement to the Ashen Elder. That's 1 for objective holding. The next, we'll put an Infernal Cohort in. It can go sit on an objective. It's this says spear. I have blade, but spear would be preferable, but it's going to be blades in the list, just because that's what I built it as, and what I play is as I build. So we're going to have the spears sitting on an objective. So I don't think we need the War Despot quite yet to go with these Infernal Cohort, because I think it's the points may be not as relevant to adding more damage dealing. I do want a couple more ranged items, so definitely a Death Reeker rocket battery and a bombard. And let's toss Uruk Tar in the list because he is so much of a utility piece. And with that, we're going to go add this up into New Recruit and see what the points come out like. Okay, so we've put the units I selected initially into a list on New Recruit, and we're going to take a look at what we got. So first thing we ran into is obviously the problem is there's only 2 heroes. So Uruk Tar and the Ashen Elder. So playing with the idea of the list I talked about earlier, reinforcing and getting efficiencies, we'll try to reinforce the Hobgrots. I was trying to just fit it in there and keeping these 2 reinforced blunderbuss and both centaurs with Uruk. And then we put what we had with the Ashen Elder there. But as you can see, we're still short 250 points. We have quite a lot of room to play with and things that we can put back in the list. So let's go take a look at what I have left and talk through what's going to go back in the list and how we can finalize and see what it ends up as. Okay, so back in TTS, we can see I've laid out roughly we had the regiments in the New Recruit list, and we have to fill 250 points. So let's take a look at what we have options left to us. First of all, we're going to need another hero. We need to expand this out if we're going to add anything because we're at our max capacity for 2 heroes. So we need to start looking between the Demon Smith and the War Despot. Now the War Despot is okay. He can chain fight the Infernal Cohorts with sword and shield, give them +1 attack, and if he's teamed with the Ashen Elder, them having crit mortals with +1 attack, it could be a good thing. However, I think that's just too many hoops to jump through. And we've already discussed I want to try out the Ashen Elder with the Servile Automaton, walking up the board with the Dominator engine. So I don't think the War Despot's going to be the pick for this. The Demon Smith. Demon Smith could be interesting. Demon Smith heals war machines. So it can heal the Death Streaker rocket battery, the Tormentor Bombard. Can also heal Uruk Tar, I believe. So I think between the two, the utility, I would get more out of the Demon Smith. It's also another cast, so in case Uruktar goes down, if I have to be aggressive with them, you have another cast in the back of the board. So we'll take the Demon Smith. And with the Demon Smith being there, we'll move our 2 units that kind of work well with him over to his side of the board. Now, Demon Smith is pretty cheap. So the inclusion of the Demon Smith will leave us about 150, 140 points in the list. In one sec, I'll pop back and take a look at it. And yeah, it's 140 points left to play with. Now, Hobgrot Vandals are 70 points each, and I still have 20 of them left. So you could take another reinforced Hobgrot Vandals unit with the Demon Smith or with the Ashen Elder. We could take one Flame Hurler unit and give us space for manifestations that cost points, because this will bring us directly to 2,000. Or we take a Death Shrieker or a Tormentor Bombard just to add in for some range firepower. I think what I'm going to do for this list, though, is because I talked about trying to see how well everything works from a reinforced perspective, we'll just carry that idea through. So we're going to take another reinforced unit of Hobgrot Vandals. We'll toss it in the regiment with the Ashen Elder to allow for another screen. And we'll be 2,000 points on the dot. Probably leading us to take Aetherrot Machineries. And we will be right back once I reorganize it in New Recruit. Okay, so I've gone in New Recruit and I've updated the list. So the list looks as follows. We've got Battle Tactics, Master the Pass, Intercept, Recover, because I've talked about that previously. I think that's just the best there is for the army right now. Our typical prayers, because we're at 2,000 points, we're going to take Aetherrot Machineries. And then moving down to our 3 regiments. We've got Uruktar, that Hobgrot Vandals reinforced, 10 Blades, reinforced Blunderbuss, reinforced Bull Centaur unit. Second regiment is going to be the Ashen Elder, and while we're here, we'll give him the Servile Automaton heroic trait. And he's got 20 Hobgrots and a Dominator engine with Bane Maces. And the last regiment being the Demon Smith with a Rocket Battery and Tormentor Bombard. Now, the last thing I have to do is pick the last artifact of power. And for me, it's between giving the Demon Smith the Crucible of Spite, which allows him to have 3 demonic power points once per battle and doesn't take any after, but essentially just gives him extra healing, one Super Saiyan healing of these Rocket Battery and Bombards per game. Or I could look in the Ashen Elder, and I would go with the Scroll of Petrification. Maybe if the Ashen Elder is walking up the board with the Bane Mace Dominator, Ashen Elder wants to give itself a 2+ ward. I haven't played with the scroll, so we're going to try the scroll out in this list. So that's going to be the list, and we're going to submit it and see how it works. And once I play my game in the next 2 weeks, I'll upload kind of a mini 5 to 10 minute report on how it went and any lessons learned. So from going wide and being minimum size units with lots, we're going to go reinforce everything and see how it works. All right, well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and appreciate any feedback you want to give me in the comments below, and I will definitely engage with everyone here and on Reddit and any other Helsmiths as a Shoot forum there is. Thanks for watching.